What's up, Hoop fans? We're back with another video analysis. Today, we have something special for you. We've teamed up with my friends over at ShotClock for an exciting collaboration. If you love in-depth analysis and expert insights, you're in for a treat. My friends at ShotClock will be reacting to and analyzing one of our previous videos on Bartzokas' Playbook. They'll be breaking down the plays, discussing key moments, and providing their own insights on what makes his playbook so effective. Before we jump into the analysis, we want to give a huge shout-out to ShotClock. They're true basketball junkies, providing tons of amazing content for fans like you. They're very close to hitting 30K subscribers, so let's give them a boost. Make sure to subscribe to their channel and support their work. You won't regret it. All right, without further ado, let's hand it over to ShotClock for their expert analysis on Giorgos Bartzokas' Playbook. Take it away, ShotClock.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of ShotClock. We are recording today, Thursday, 25th of July, and we are guests in the one and only BasketHead.
Yes.
We are here to talk about the playbook of Giorgos Bartzokas, to go through the details of one of the most prolific basketball systems in Europe the last couple of years.
For sure.
And I was searching for a basketball junkie that can go us through the details of this offense, that can explain how this system is so productive, especially in the year 22-23, was a beauty to watch, as Sarunas Jasikevicius said. So I find Prodromos BT. Welcome, Prodromos.
Hi, everybody. This is very new to us.
This is new. This is exciting, but it's a bit strange, I would say.
Yes. For those who don't know us, who see us for the first time, we're a Greek basketball podcast. And this is our first try in English.
Yeah.
And it's quite strange, but we could maybe keep going with it. We will see.
Time will tell. Time will tell.
Yes. We have some plans.
Yeah, we have some plans, but it's. I would say it's very early to decide about this.
Of course.
But today we're here to talk about Giorgos Bartzokas. Another video is coming for the playbook of Coach Ataman, so make sure to subscribe in BasketHead channel. He is on the way to the 20,000 subscribers.
He's very close.
It's
we have to get there.
It's very few for a channel with this quality of BasketHead. And of course, you can find ShotClock Podcast. We are on our way to 30,000 subscribers. The first action that we will discuss is Zipper 4, an action well known from Giorgos Bartzokas' playbook. This action, I think that the main target of the offense is to find the best fit, the best matchup to attack. It starts with an Iverson cut from one of the guards, and then, as we can see, if we stop the play here, there is an empty side. There is a possibility for an empty side pick and roll. There is a possibility for an isolation in the mid post, as we saw in the Barcelona series, where Petrusev had the ball in the mid post and isolated against Jabari Parker, against Oscar da Silva, etc. So there is a middle pick and roll with one of the guards, maybe Thomas Walkup, maybe Isaiah Cannon. In the near future, maybe we'll see Luka Vildoza in this type of actions. So I would say that Zipper 4 is a way for Giorgos Bartzokas to free its power forward, either for an isolation, but we can see very often after the pick and roll, the 4 will be alone in the corner. You know, Sosa Vezenkov, Alex Peters, flamethrowers from the corners.
Of course. First of all, generally the playbook of Bartzokas doesn't specifically target from start a specific player to get the ball.
Yes.
That happens situationally, let's say. But more often, what we see is a play starting to, let's say, misguide the opponent defense. And that's what's happening in this play. Many times Thomas Walkup comes from a down screen to get the ball first after, let's say, Nigel goes in this case, gets the ball to the side on the 45 degrees. And then he passes again, the Iverson cut happens. There are many options there. Walkup can cut again, maybe. Then Petrusev comes from the ram screen to go for the pick and roll, or even fake the screen and run to the basket, where if the help happens from the opposite side, you can pass the ball to the corner, maybe for a three, or you see there are many options in this.
Yeah, let's go through the details of this action. I think that the main goal of Bartzokas is to have the defense moving from side to side.
Yes.
This is an excellent play for this, and despite the fact that one player is sitting in the corner and doesn't impact the play with movement or with some screens or something, it's the floor spacer. We can see Giannulis Laretζakis there, we can see Kostas Papanikolaou there, we can see Alec Peters there.
Course, yeah.
I think it's an action that we're probably gonna see a lot the coming year, as we can see Alec Peters playing the three. So
Yes.
we can see Alec Peters serve as the floor spacer in the corner, and Sasa Vezenkov be the one who cuts and isolation maybe in the mid post or waiting in the corner after the middle pick and roll. But I have a question on this. We see that pretty often the ball turns around to the point guard again, or to the guard that made the Iverson cut for a not so wide open three. Is Thomas Walkup or Nigel Goss the best personnel for an effective zipper 4 in this situation?
I mean, that's a discussion.
Yeah.
Last year it was kind of hard to see sometimes.
Yeah.
I think most people would agree that the offense of 22-23 and the offense of last year were two completely different things.
Yeah, same principles,
Yes,
different execution.
of course, yes. Because the absence of Sasa Vezenkov and Kostas Loukas, of course,
Yeah.
changed the dynamics. Changed the dynamics of this team. So that was expected in a sense. But also the whole spacing thing was a thing for Olympiacos the whole year. Because, okay, Isaiah Cannon and Alec Peters could find the shots through the system, but when the defenses played shadow defense on them, that means like chasing the player guarding those players was chasing them all over the court, so they don't get the chance to have some separation to shoot the ball. Then the offense became a bit stagnant, let's say.
Yeah.
So many times what we saw is the ball coming back up for a simple pick and roll from the middle with Thomas Walkup or Nigel Goss having the ball. So I think this year would be a lot different. Sasa and Alec Peters on the starting lineup, we will see if this actually happens, but will be a threat, a constant threat for the opposing defense. And things will come up more freely, let's say,
Yeah.
more inside the flow of the
Yeah.
offense. And that was what was missing a bit last year.
I think there was a spacing problem in Olympiacos the previous year. I think losing Sasa,
Yes,
losing a premier playmaker like Kostas Loukas,
of course.
can make things quite strange in an offense that needs heavy ball handlers, needs shot makers like Sasa Vezenkov. So Isaiah Cannon and Alec Peters had their share of good offense and good nights, and of course Alec Peters had a great or maybe excellent year.
Yes, of
but in actions like this, I think that the more floor spacers can be on the floor, the better for the team. So in that sense, I think that even when Keenan Evans will be back, Olympiacos will have so many options in their offense that will be so crucial, because we should not forget Olympiacos has in its roster Nikola Milutinov, one of the best pick and roll players in Europe. Keenan Evans was great in creating after pick and roll, but also scoring after pick and roll with I think 1.46 points per possession.
That's crazy.
after pick and roll, and think about that action with Nikola Milutinov screening to Keenan Evans and
course,
Alec Peters and Sasa Vezenkov in the corners. I think that Giorgos Bartzokas changes his mentality as far as stardom is concerned. We see a lot of star power in this team: Milutinov, Vezenkov, Peters, but the same principles are there, and the same principles are also in the next chapter of our podcast. I think we're getting used to speaking in English. It's the law 4, where the entry pass in the post is the most crucial thing for this offensive action. And then we can see a lot of things unfold as the offense goes on. The first one that we would like to discuss is, it's like the split action of Golden State Warriors. Peters is in the post, and Papanikolaou and Walkup are in the 45 degrees and in the center of the field. This is the same action that we run in our team, and we call it transition play.
Yes.
Okay. We have the cut from Papanikolaou without screening. And the split action requires a screen between the two perimeter guys. And then we got the handoff between Peters and Thomas Walkup. Everything opens up when Alec Peters cuts to the corner, and we have a middle pick and roll with Mustafa Fall. Everyone says that Bartzokas is not a pick and roll guy. I think that every single action of Bartzokas' playbook is a pick and roll in the end of it.
Yes, we discussed it a lot during the last year, but the problem was that it seemed like every, let's say, offensive action from Olympiacos ended up in a pick and roll, but not in a way that was in the flow of the offense. That was the problem last year. But the year before, 22-23, it was a whole different story.
What was the problem last year?
I think it started from the spacing. It started from the teams realizing that Isaiah Cannon and Alec Peters are the only, let's say, shooters that Bartzokas can trust from the start to the end of the game.
Maybe the only attacking threats, I could say, in the starting lineup.
Yes, because, Thomas Walkup, as great as he is, I think we can all agree he had let's say, a bit down year. But it was a lot of factors in this. More load, carrying the ball, more offensive load. Too many games. In the last, let's say, 1.5 years, he has like 173 games, I think, both with Olympiacos and the national team. He only missed one game. This is crazy. We're talking about an Ironman in the EuroLeague. So all this stuff played their role. Thomas Walkup had a bad year, like near the rim. We were discussing that. And Nigel Goss was great, but he was injured a lot. And all this together, the changes in between the season, I think threw Olympiacos a bit off. And we discussed it also many times that Bartzokas is a coach that prepares the team from the summer. So changes happening inside the year are a bit of a question mark. How they going unfold? Yes.
Talking about confusing inside the Olympiacos system, I see Giorgos Bartzokas as a main ball handler. So low for action with Giorgos Bartzokas passing to, I think it's Lugis here. I would like to discuss this action because you see Alec Peters opening up things in the perimeter. It's an action that it's easy to see him in the near future as stretch 4 or playing the 3. I think Peters is better than people think in attacking closeouts. And here is an excellent example against the defense of Red Star, where Alec Peters attacks the closeout and scores. So, these kind of actions can make players that are not great ball handlers, like Peters, like Papanikolaou, like Sasha Vezenkov, be more aggressive in attacking closeout because of the way the ball moves. This is the ultimate recipe of Bartzokas for solving problems of little ball handling from small forwards and above.
And athleticism plays also a role in this.
We will see Sigma later.
It was strange. Luke Sigma is a great basketball mind, but the things happening on the court were not so great to the eye, let's see, for what we were used to the year before. The problem with Peters is that he's not that great of an athlete, let's say, athletic beast of any kind. But he's a high IQ player. He can stop 3 meters from the basket and go for a pull-up mid-range where he's great. And he can go to the basket maybe from a cut where it's more clean, let's say, for him. But he's not a guy that really absorbs contact close to the basket. I think Papanikolaou and Peters, if Peters actually plays the three, should have a long talk during the preparation of the team. Because Kostas Papanikolaou is an example of this. He was not that great athletically, but when he cuts, the 2-triple, let's say, drive to the basket is very good, is efficient. He can score under the basket.
He made a living out of this.
He made a living out of this. Let's be clear. But I believe, like for Peters, that's the way to go if he eventually plays the three. And I also think Sasa, because they play the same, let's say, position. We will see how it will unfold. Will be even better after the NBA. Although many people may discuss that he didn't get a lot of playing time, etc. But that's not completely true. He played like 40 games.
42 games.
He was like around 8 to 12 minutes a night, depending what was happening.
Sasa had also good games in NBA.
Yes. A great game against Golden State Warriors that I remember.
He had not a good year, but he had good games and, good things that happened throughout this year. When everybody thought that Sasa is an NBAer, then he sprained his
he was unlucky also.
But the thing is that I saw Sasa in a lot of pick and roll situations in Sacramento as a ball handler, and he couldn't make a thing out of it. When he understood that it is not necessary to dribble the ball, and he can pass for a DHO to Sabonis and then shoot immediately after the handoff with Sabonis, then everything opened up for Sasa. And I think that direct handoffs, which is basic principles in Bartzokas system, we will see Sasa as a 3 guard, or maybe as a big 3 to be more accurate. We will see Sasa attempting this kind of shots after a direct handoff with Milutinov, either handoff with Fall, etc.
That was what I was about to comment. Like, Bartzokas doesn't really like dribbling.
Sasa doesn't really like dribbling too.
Yes, but this is the principle of, let's say, basketball in 2024. Dribble less, make less mistakes, and move.
It's
constant movement.
The half-second rule that Popovich has mastered, and Bartzokas in the head of European coaches conference or something explained about his philosophy behind the half-second rule of Greg Popovich. Let's go to another action. It's low 4 again, but it's very interesting to see how things can be very, very interesting in this kind of offense. Low 4 action again with Alec Peters attempting to go to the mid post, and as soon as Thomas Walkup gets the ball for the middle pick and roll, we see a Spain pick and roll action with Peters coming for the back screen. Excellent play for a guy like Peters who shoots the lights out in EuroLeague. I think that we're gonna see a lot of this with Peters and Vezenkov too. And I know that people will say you talk about Peters and Vezenkov all the time, but I think that they will be the vocal points of the offense the coming year. I think that we're talking about 2 players that will be 22 to 25 to usage percentage for Olympiacos team, and of course we will see a lot of actions running through them, for them, or there will be the last minute, the last second shot if everything goes badly.
And also when you have this type of players on the court, it's easy to misguide the opponent's defense, because if you run an action for Peters, and let's say he comes off, he makes a shot, two plays after, you run the same action. Defense knows what to do, and then when you, let's say, surprise them, like in this pen pick and roll, I think Peters didn't even screen.
Yes.
He went straight up, got the free shot. Opponent was nowhere near him. So all these little things, all this, it's a bit of improvisation. I mean, you practice it a lot on the court, and you understand it in real time, and then you execute. That's like the whole point of it.
Yeah, and I think that if the defense closes out very hard, we can see Peters, just make the simple red inside the big guy, either Mustafa Fall, either Nikola Milutinov. I think that Olympiacos makes sense for me to have an offense of 130 offensive rating.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me with so many options. With Vezenkov in the roster. Let's get to the next one. Let's get to the weave actions. I think that this is the most prominent Bartzokas play. Maybe his precious one, I think. The weave actions where everything starts when the guard rejects the screen in the weak side and opens up the floor for the first handoff. Then a circle of movement unfolds, and there is no specific way to analyze this offense. No one, and when I say no one, I mean even the players right now executing this offense don't really know where the ball is gonna go.
Don't really know if they're gonna take the shot, if they're gonna
if there's a pass, the next phase of the offense, etc. So in the first action, we see a post up with Mustafa Fall easily abusing.
This drop step is crazy.
It's unstoppable. But we can see so many variations of this offense, and I think that Luka Vildoza and Keenan Evans, maybe Nigel Goss, and of course Tyler Dorsey, the players that will benefit from this type of action. This is the problem with the previous year and the big advantage of the year before that.
Yeah.
I think that this kind of offense needs, with capital letters, a prolific playmaker like Kostas Loukas. An excellent playmaker, a playmaker that can decide in each and every moment what to do in the court without, second thoughts. I don't know if Keenan Evans is the answer to that. Maybe he is. But I feel that this offense, to be in its premium, update, it is in need of one dominant player with the ball in his hands. A premium playmaker and decision maker. I do not think that Thomas Walkup is that. I think that Walkup can live alongside a premium playmaker like Slukas, alongside a premium playmaker like Kalathis, as we saw with Greece and the national team. Let's deep dive to another wave action where everything opens up when Isaiah Cannon passes to goes to Milutinov, and then the defense here is I think Nanali or something.
Yes.
The low tag defender is in a need to go to Milutinov, otherwise it's a dunk.
Of course.
In reality, there is no difference to that. Giannis Larzakis will shoot wide open 10 out of 10 times in this situation. He got to make it to win for his team, to win his personal playing time, but this kind of set is designed to find the player in the weak side after the low tag go to the roller.
Yes, and this is a global basketball problem, I think.
Yeah.
I remember JJ Redick and LeBron James discussing this exact situation in the podcast they made before Redick became the Los Angeles Lakers coach, of course. But even when you have a player at the 45 degrees and the player in the corner, and the mismatch is created, you are 4 versus 3 on the backside now. what does the player on the weak side do? Does he go for the high tag? Does he commit to a help deeply under the basket? Then you can have a pass on the corner for a free shot. You can have a pass at 45 degrees for a free shot. You can have a swing pass from the corner to 45 degrees again for a free shot. It is the easiest read for the offense, and you can really do anything if you are the defense. You have to live with some of these situations. You have to pick the best one for you. But when you have, like, let's say, the upcoming year, if you have Peters and Vesekov on the weak side, it's a problem.
Yes.
You're leaving 40% three-point shooters open. So this is something to look forward to in this offense in the upcoming year.
The next action is one of my favorites as a player or as a coach. It's one of the most traditional plays in basketball. Every basketball fan, even those who haven't played a lot basketball in their lives, know the flex action. So let's get inside the legendary flex action with Giorgos Bartzokas. I think that in a way this action is designed for Mustafa Fall, despite the fact that Mustafa Fall never takes this shot.
No.
Because Mustafa Fall is a premier playmaker from the low post or the high post. So the flex action utilize Fall as a decoy for different kind of hands-off. Maybe it will be Thomas Walkup who will come from the one side. Maybe it will be the other player who came from the other corner to take this hand of action, and maybe Fall just pass the ball inside the paint to the cutter. I think that there are very few centers that can produce in that way, assisting for their teammates, and I think that Bartzokas utilizing this action because of Mustafa Fall.
Yes.
And if you ask me, are there any actions for specific players in Olympiacos playbook? I would say flex action is for Mustafa Fall creating for his teammates. Okay, this is a different situation because we usually have plays for players to create their own shot or to find an open shot. Now we have a system designed for a player to create for others, which is excellent, I think, and says a lot about Bartzokas' mentality in the way he visualizes basketball.
And although Nikola Milutinov is not exactly that type of player,
He's a good passer,
but
though.
he's a great passer, I would say. We could see him more in this situation. We saw him a bit, I think, in the Greek finals, but we could see him more. This action has a lot of, let's say, fundamental thoughts behind it. Pull the big guy out of the paint, first of all, so he can guard, let's say, the pass initially.
You know, sorry for interrupting. I want to see Moses Wright in this action. And
this is interesting.
And no passes, no creation for others, just shooting from the mid-range. No, just pass the ball to mid-post and he gonna make things happen.
And that would be interesting. And I mean, in all the, let's say, highlights we see, you can observe that Mustafa Fall doesn't leave the area of the free throw line. Whatever happens, but he's there, he's living there. Even if the action stops because the defense reacted well and ends up in a pick and roll at the 45 degrees, then we can see Thomas Walkup reading the defense, passing to Fall, and then, let's say, Peters cutting to the basket, getting the ball, the swing to the cutter for an easy layup. There are so many options when we have a high IQ players playing like this.
I'm not gonna lie. This is the type of action that brought Luke Sigma to Olympiacos.
Yes.
This is what Bartzokas was thinking.
The point center.
Yeah. This is what Bartzokas was thinking when he got Luke Sigma. Like, give Sigma the ball, he's a great passer, and I will find a stretch 4 beside him, or a stretch 5, if Sigma plays the 4, to utilize him in the best way. And in a recent interview of Coach Bartzokas, he kind of apologized for that, saying that it wasn't Luke's mistake for not playing in appropriate way in this system, but it was his fault that he didn't pair him with stretch 5, stretch 4, etc. Let's deep dive now to one of my favorite actions of Olympiacos and of basketball in general. It is the Stagger Series. Stagger screens are used worldwide to give wide open shots to excellent or just good shooters. Olympiacos couldn't be more suitable for this system, having Isaiah Cannon in his system last year. Is Tyler Dorsey the appropriate one to utilize in this kind of series? I would say yes.
Yes, I would agree.
Because Tyler Dorsey can shoot after screens, but also can put the ball down, dribble, go to a handoff, and after the stagger screens, the offense could go to a weave action or a low 4, because there are so many different options after the first action in Bartzokas' playbook.
Yes, and many times you can see even the initial stagger screen breaking.
Yeah.
I mean, the guard might read the defense and cut to the basket for the easy pass and the layup. There are so many options for the guard, and he can be creative. He can cheat, let's say, the defense and misguide it. But yeah, regarding Tyler Dorsey, I think we saw him a bit this year doing exactly that. I remember Nick Alathis, let's say, picking a side, heading to the 45 degrees, heading to a screen, and then a rescreen for Tyler Dorsey to get the top of the key to shoot a free, an open three-pointer. Tyler Dorsey can feast in these situations. I mean, his role, we can discuss it. I think it's going to be around, let's say, 18 minutes, 70 minutes.
Maybe relevant to how many shots he gets and make around the half of the second quarter.
Yeah. I mean, Bartzokas values selective shot making.
Yes.
Pick your spots when you need to, but pick them in the right situations, pick them in the best way possible. And I think Dorsey made steps to this during his time in Fenerbahce. Although his role in 22-23 in Olympiacos was a bit more free. He got more free.
21-22.
21-22, sorry, yeah. He had more freedom with the ball in his hands. Sometimes it went good, sometimes it did not, but that's basketball, of course, it can happen. But I think with a more, let's say, backup role, around the 70 minutes, he would be great in this.
Yeah. Did you know that Bartzokas likes to design and execute a lot of low post plays? Did you know that?
Yeah.
That he's not just a motion offense guy. And I think that this year will be the year that Bartzokas will run a lot of low post actions or mid post actions with center of these actions, Sasha Vezenkov in the mid post and Nikola Milutinov under the basket. I think that in a complex offense, low post plays come as, the last island of the simplicity. And
it's not that simple though. In Bartzokas' system, even it's not that simple. It's not let's say a one-on-one in the post every time.
Yeah, but
there's
kind
action.
of is.
Yes.
There is a preliminary action somewhere else in the court, maybe a back screen for Isaiah Cannon or for Tyler Dorsey the coming year, etc. But in reality, there is a simplicity in the low post plays. Either with mismatch or with just, backing down. In the offense, Mustafa Fall gets the ball and kind of goes.
Yes, and we will see that happening a lot more, hopefully, with Nikola Milutinov this year. But what I wanted to underline, let's say, is that when the ball gets to the post eventually, the other players are not, let's say, not moving. They are moving. This creates this situation gives time to the post player to either read a good pass or back up to the basket, take the mismatch, because both Nikola Milutinov and Mustafa Fall are excellent in the two-dribble post-up, let's say. They can finish either way. They're both great passers. I mean, if, let's say, a cross-screen is happening on the opposing side and the defense, let's say, is misguided and someone cuts to the basket, they will see the pass for the easy layup. All these situations also create from the post with the big man being again the center. So we see that big men are crucial in the creation of this offense. Situationally, of course.
As Bartzokas said, in his playbook, the point guard and the center
are the most important
pieces.
Yes.
Everyone else is kind of, interchangeable or even positionless. We have saw Papanikolaou playing the 2 and playing the 4 while being a 3. That's all I think. I think we had a very good breakdown. Thank you for this.
Thank you.
It was our first podcast ever in English. So be polite in the comment section.
Yes.
In this video, subscribe to BasketHead, subscribe to ShotClock, of course, for Greek content, but basketball content first and foremost. And we're coming with analysis of playbook of Coach Ataman in a few days. Get ready for this. See you the next time. Μαλάκα δύσκολο.